All right, everyone, let's take a look at these previews here. Let's look at the week's matchups in terms of before the weekend. So Wednesday's got one match, Friday has two. They're basically running almost all at the same times on Friday, so it will be kind of a choose one or the other if you're going to watch. As for Wednesday's match, Denver, North Carolina. Once again, another long trip for Courage as they go to face off against the expansion summit. And in this case, North Carolina finds themselves once again in the position of team that needs to earn the full 3 points and not falter in spectacular fashion the way things have gone on a few different occasions for them. They have made this mistake on a few separate occasions, and I have to think the pressure is starting to mount as they are getting ever so close to falling out of the playoff picture once again. What I'm looking at in terms of this matchup is another fast start, probably by Denver. Look for their offense again, running mostly through Janine Sonis. They'll likely be able to pick up one, if not two goals. And it's going to be, the onus will be on North Carolina to generate offense and make something happen with it. Now, in their case, they are fortunate. They do have two very successful players in terms of scoring. They've got Ashley Sanchez, who currently sits at second in the chase, 2 goals behind Barbara Banda. And you also have Monica Matsukubo, who is sitting at 5 goals so far this year. So North Carolina does have a lot of offense that they can draw from. Question is, will it follow them into Denver? It is something that they absolutely need because dropping points again puts them in a severely disadvantageous position where you have Orlando, where you have Angel City, where you have Seattle, all of whom could pick up 3 points and gain some ground. Now, again, North Carolina will have a matchup this weekend as well, so they are getting multiple chances to gain points, but that's not something you necessarily want to rely on if you are North Carolina, in where you are going to find yourself running through games a lot quicker. You are going to be giving a match in hand potentially to Angel City and Seattle, where you didn't necessarily, where you want to be out of reach during the match in hand. You do not want to be in the scenario where you've now given them control of the standings. And dropping points here would pretty much guarantee that at least one of them, if not both, would be in range to chase you. Overall, I'm going to say I do think that drama does occur because I think Denver scoring 2 goals makes it a little too difficult for North Carolina to pull away. I've got it being a 2-2 draw. So this will be Denver's 21st points of the season. And it will put North Carolina at 25, where they will have to deal with some challenges. Speaking of, one of their challengers plays on Friday. That is the Orlando Pride. They face Racing Louisville at home. This should be a victory, and in most cases I would assume it would be. The issue at hand remains that WAFCON is still going. You do not know what you can necessarily expect. In terms of their offense, Orlando has not looked particularly good offensively since this all started. And I think that's the reliance on Barbara Banda as your main offensive output. You don't really have a second option who is viable. So, yeah, this has not been a time for Orlando, but the good news is at least you're facing a team near the bottom of the table, in this case in the one spot above it, where you might be able to get away with it. And you might be able to just rack up goals with your roster as constructed. Once again, this is a scenario where I think it's going to end up being a draw. Louisville is very capable of scoring. Orlando, I do think, gets one, but I think a 1-1 draw is where we're going to be. And then finally, we've got our heavyweight showdown. Gotham FC versus San Diego Wave FC. Got the top of the table versus P4. And in this case, Gotham has been playing hot, but San Diego did just come off a really major victory here against Washington. The thing is, though, I will not take San Diego to get this one, simply because it is 2 cross-country games in a row. I do think they expended a lot on that first one. I think Gotham will see kind of the tendencies, show up a little more prepared. And so I'm going to give Gotham the victory here, 2-1. I think we will see a return to scoring from Esther Gonzalez. I think Sam Kerr has shown she's on a bit of a heater right now. I think she'll get another one. And San Diego, I just don't think has the goals to get it in place. They will give it a good second half run. I think it could be one of those where they're down 2-0 and trying to earn it all back. And that's where I kind of see this one heading. But that would place Gotham, give them a little bit of a pad with regards to San Diego. And could put San Diego in danger of losing the home playoff positioning, which you get from the top 4. That pretty much looks like where I am with these. We'll see what happens as we get closer to the weekend. And yeah, this is going to be a good week. I will talk a little bit more about the weekend games, but even just from what you're seeing here, we're going to see some competitive matchups, some solid head-to-heads, I think some points stolen, and hopefully everyone enjoys the fun. Enjoy rooting for your team this weekend. Enjoy the football. And as always, we'll see them this weekend. Go Angels.